God bless you. I'm Bishop E. Bernard Jordan, the author of this great book, The Laws of Thinking, 20 Secrets to Using the Divine Power of Your Mind to Manifest Prosperity. Are you ready for change? Because change is ready for you, and you're only one thought away from anything you need to become in life.
Bishop, thank you for joining us. Could you explain to us a little bit more in detail the laws of thinking?
Well, Shivani, The Laws of Thinking is a very powerful book. It sets people's life up. Where most people see like maybe one law, the law of attraction, or when they read The Secret, they just hear about the law of attraction. Well, the laws of thinking, we did this over 10 years ago, and this book has just been released almost simultaneously when The Secret was being released. We did the laws of thinking, and we gave you 20 secrets, and the law of attraction happened to be law number 3. But we deal with the law of becoming, the law of spirit, before we get to the law of attraction. And it's important for a person to know who they are before they can know where they're going. And one of the things is that the laws of thinking starts to empower the individual and cause you to know everything you want to be in life starts with a thought in your own wonderful imagination.
This is powerful work. There are plenty of books now, this new coming of age, and I feel it's a shift towards a collective consciousness in this time in our life. And there are books like The Secret, the 7 spiritual laws that have come out. Why is it that you have focused or chosen to market to the people of color?
Because I'm finding that we as a people of color, we as spiritual people, Africa has been a land of spirit. Spirituality, we're not a stranger of. We've never went to discover and do research as other cultures of the laws of our spiritual being or our spiritual nature. How do we as a people end up with gold in the earth and resources, and yet we become some of the poorest people? Because we have journeyed outward instead of journeying inward. And that's why when I did this book, I put this young black man's picture on the cover, show him being illumined. Because see, the prophet paints the picture of hope. And since our black men are endangered species on the planet today, at the greatest amount of risk, our prisons are filled with African American males. There's such a loss in our black men. My burden are for black men. I have 3 sons. I'm a black man. If I'm riding in my Mercedes-Benz, a cop pulls me over. Why? Because he doesn't understand that you did something right to get that. He sees that you've done something illegal to get that. You don't fit with that equation. Or if I'm walking down a certain neighborhood, they want to pull you over and ask you, what are you doing in the neighborhood? Or if you drive, state your business here. Why? Because you don't fit in that picture. Why is it that they don't think you fit in that picture? Because they know that the system was not designed for you to make it as an African American. So this here book is definitely for African Americans, for people to begin to understand that if you operate in these spiritual laws, you will begin to be impacted. And one of the things is, someone wrote me the other day, got offended. He says, you offend the working class in here. And I said, most definitely. Because we teach people, do not become a slave to a wage. We teach people that even work for me, work to the point where you can start a business and make me your client. Work so that you can end up having me as one of your contracts, because you will never get rich by working for someone else. But the thought has got to begin in your mind. And once you get angry at your present, you can create a new future.
You spend a chapter explaining the concept of God as a verb. Can you delve a little bit more into that?
Well, when Moses spoke to God, he says, tell me your name. And Moses says, my name is I am that I am. I am. I am that I am. God is action. God is a verb. God is spirit. God is a spirit, and they that worship him in spirit and in truth. But then we need to also understand that God is all in all, that there isn't a spot where God is not. And when we start to understand that concept, we can see him as a person because he has a personality. We can see him as a noun, but we need to take it even further than that. We need to see him as a verb. He's an action. He is a living being in us. But we don't want to name him, because the moment we name him, we limit him, we lame him. Because once we name him as Father, we miss God as Mother. And so therefore, we need to see God as all in all. But God is action inside all of us. And once we begin to join in and become one with him, which is true atonement, then we begin to see God acting through us. And one of the things we understand as mystics and as prophets, and what we've got to understand as Black people, African Americans, that thoughts are things.
You are truly a leader that is moving our communities forward. How do we reach the youth that may not want to sit down and read a book, that may not want to go to church? How do we draw these people in?
Well, first of all, they got to understand, as Black men, we have got to begin to become the creators of our own destiny. And one of the things that I find is that I'm very passionate about reaching Black men, especially Black youth. I do a lot of mentoring with a lot of young Black men. Like, we have them running our TV department. We have them teaching them how to edit, how to switch, giving them an opportunity that they would not get in this world. Because why look for someone outside of us to help us when the help has got to come from within us? And that's why we've got to understand. I like something that I heard Dr. Julia Hare say, that we've got to understand the difference between Black leaders and leading Blacks. Because one of the things we've got to understand is that Black leaders come out from among the group of people. Leading Blacks are Blacks that are put into the forefront by our oppressors, but they really care nothing about the collective consciousness of the people. So what am I saying here? We must be concerned about collective progress and not individual progress. And what has happened is that many of us have progressed individually, but we did not come back to help the group get out of the hole. That's why I did the Laws of Thinking. That's why I put a Black man on the cover. And I'm glad that this went New York Times bestseller. And let me tell you something. Oriental people are reading it. White people are reading it. Hispanic communities are reading it. And my only fear, if it is a fear, and I shouldn't have this fear, my only fear is that our people don't read it. Because there was a myth that has been said, or I want to call it a lie. Someone said, if you ever want to hide anything, put it in a book. But we know that readers become leaders, and leaders are readers. That's why in slavery, they didn't want you to read, because they know that if you would have read, you would have led.
Visit our website today for details on how to win this book personally signed by the author.